Welcome back to Redzone and Endzone. I am back this week. Happy to be back here. We have Aaron to my left, Peter to my right, and we're going to start off with Panthers versus Buccaneers. In this game, I have the Panthers winning. They're going to be out for revenge after that Thursday night loss earlier in the season, and hopefully Cam Newton can figure it out with Christian McCaffrey right now.
Kyle Allen and Christian McCaffrey have been running all over teams these past few weeks, and they're going to do it to the Bucs. Famous Jameis can't pull it out this week.
I forgot Cam was injured.
All right, we got the clean sweep here. Okay, listen here, boys. We got the Panthers winning. Okay, I don't think that the Bucs are gonna do much. They're very overhyped to say the least, and they kind of proved that they were last week against their matchups, and they got blown up. I mean, they didn't lose that bad to the Saints, but it was still like enough, like a loss, enough of a beating to be a loss. So I got Panthers winning this one.
Could we see a repeat of last week when the three guys on the show picked the Raiders over the Bears, and that actually happened? Yeah. All right, game number 2, the Tank Bowl, Dolphins, Redskins. I have the Dolphins. No, that's not a popular opinion, but I think the Redskins are just in turmoil right now. They just fired their head coach. Their offense is in shambles right now. You have Dwayne Haskins playing quarterback. I have no idea what they're doing, and I think it's a plea for help right now for Tua.
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking the Dolphins as well. Josh Rosen is definitely a better quarterback right now than Dwayne Haskins. I mean, in terms of, they're both like all over the place, but I feel like the Dolphins are just a little bit more glued together than the Redskins are right now, so I'm taking the Dolphins.
Okay, I got the Redskins winning in this year's 2019 Tank Bowl. I know it sounds weird, but the Dolphins are trying to lose.
So are the Redskins right now.
No, but the Redskins are trying to win any way they can.
And firing their head coach is going to do that?
Well, if you look what happened to Green Bay last year when they lost to the Cardinals, they fired Mike McCarthy, and then they brought in their offensive coordinator as head coach, and he went 2-1 with the team before the season was over, unfortunately. I think that the Redskins can do that here. They got the fresh start they need. Dwayne Haskins is not that bad. He's kind of like Josh Rosen. They just got put in bad teams when they got drafted. That's not really their fault. Obviously, it's gonna be battle of to see who is the better quarterback this week. But I still got the Redskins winning. And fun fact, the game you can buy tickets to the game for $13.
Wow.
That is less than the ticket to the Miami Zoo. The Miami Zoo is a $23 ticket.
Wow.
Dolphins Redskins is $13. Holy cow!
I think the last time I saw a price that low was Browns versus Bears a few seasons ago, when Browns were 0-16. But do you really have trust in Haskins right now?
Dude, I'm from Ohio State, you know what I'm saying? Okay, that's a little biased. I'm a little biased, okay? But, I think he could pull something out. I don't know. I just got the Redskins winning, though.
And with this moment, I'm going to take the time to point out our fake sponsor of the week, StubHub. Get your $13 tickets on StubHub.
Or your $20 tickets to the Miami Zoo.
Exactly, both. We are not sponsored by StubHub.
We wish. We dream some days. Anyways, next game. We have the Jaguars versus the Saints. I had the Jaguars finally winning this week. I finally picked them this week after not picking them the last few weeks mistakenly. I'm just trying to set my record straight with them right now. That's all I got.
I'm not picking the Jags this week. I'm picking the Saints. Teddy Bridgewater, probably best game of his career last week. 300 yards, 4 touchdowns. Yeah. Yeah.
Now when he was with the Vikings?
That when he was with the Vikings. And that defense looking good. Alvin Kamara. Jaguars are good, but they're not that good. They were playing the Bucs last week.
Yeah, but the Bucs were hot though.
Yeah,
so coming in,
they beat the
and
Rams.
every time that the Bucs went to the Saints, they usually play good. But that week they obviously lost.
Fair.
Okay, moving on to my opinion. So I got the Saints winning this one. I just don't think I get the Jags are very Gardner Minshew. You don't know where he's at. Like you said 2 weeks ago in your predictions, you said that he was very you don't know where he's at. Sometimes you think he's gonna do good, sometimes he's not. Obviously, the Jags have the home field advantage, so the fans are all in on trying to get them to win here. I just think Teddy Bridgewater are gonna come to town. He's gonna it's gonna be game over for the Jags. I got the Saints winning this one. I don't know what else you want me to say.
Moving on to the Bengals and the Ravens. I'm picking my boy Lamar Jackson. over Andy Dalton, who, he's a good quarterback, but what is he going to do? I said this last week. What is he going to do when his offensive line is worse than Joe Mixon in blocking? All right. At least Lamar Jackson's more mobile, so he has, a higher chance of making a big play than Andy Dalton does. Their defense has been kind of exposed a little bit the past few weeks, but it's still better than whatever the Bengals have. So, even for winning.
Okay, yeah, I got the Ravens here. I just don't think there's any way that the Bengals are going to be able to do much. Come on, they were so hyped up to be the team. That happened last year too. They had a very good hot streak, and then it just kind of fell apart. They pooped the bed, so to speak. So yeah, I just got the Ravens winning this week. There's nothing that the Bengals can do.
Ravens in 2 words. Zach Taylor.
All right.
Clean sweep.
Yeah.
With that, we're going on to the Seahawks and the Browns. I'm picking the Seahawks this week. Probably no surprise. Baker Mayfield hasn't been looking anything like his rookie year form. Russell Wilson's been in MVP mode all season, putting up some of the best stats of his career.
That's just crazy.
It's just easy pick this week.
Yeah, come on. You really think the Browns are going to win? You got Baker Mayfield. You got the cockiest man on the football field.
That's harsh.
I don't know about 0-16.
I don't know about 0-16.
They're not doing good though.
They're 7-9 for them right now.
I mean, they're better than Redskins and Dolphins. Let's be honest.
Okay, I'd rather watch Redskins and Dolphins game over.
Honestly, I agree with that.
Yeah,
it's gonna be more entertaining.
It'd be more interesting. Yeah. So yeah, I just don't think there is any way the Browns are gonna be able to do much. Obviously, I think they've definitely gone to a low spot here. Mm-hmm. They gotta pull themselves out of that hole that they are in. Otherwise, I just don't see them doing very good at the rest of the season. Russell Wilson has put up extraordinary numbers this season, making his case for MVP. I just don't think there's any way that the Browns are gonna win.
Time to get out your booms because it's another clean sweep here. I got the Seahawks, and they pretty much mentioned everything, but honestly, I'd really hate to be the Browns GM right now. You're bringing Jarvis Landry and Odell Beckham, and you're playing worse than you did last year.
And they haven't done anything.
That's what I just said.
Oh, okay.
All right, moving on to the Eagles and Vikings. This week I'm taking the Eagles over the Vikings just because they beat a team that was, they have a 500 team and now below 500 and going even farther down with what I'm hoping will be a loss to the Patriots. The Eagles are going to easily take this. Kirk Cousins can't beat a team over 500.
Yeah, I got the Eagles winning this one. I just don't think Kirk Cousins is that good. Obviously, he came out of New York last week with the win, and he's high on himself. But I just don't think there's any way. Obviously, the Vikings are hosting a home game here, so they got the good home field advantage. They're always loud in third down. The fans are trying to get into it. I think the Eagles are going to come to town, and they're high off all their wins from beating the Packers and then winning last week to moving forward to the Vikings. I think the Eagles are going to make quick work out of the Vikings. There's not going to be much the Vikings can do. Obviously, their defense is a lot better than the Eagles, but the Eagles have definitely shown a lot of growth. Yeah. Everybody looked at them with their injuries from last year, and they're like, these guys are not going to be able to do anything. But look, here they are. They're above 500, so obviously they're doing something right.
I have the Eagles as well. The Vikings, there's just too much chaoticness going on right now with that receiving core. Who knows what Stephon Diggs wants right now? Receiving core, questionable. Thielen went off, but can he do that again? I think the biggest question of this game is going to be how many carries Dalvin Cook gets.
Yeah.
And that's going to really decide this game and how well the Eagles can stop that. But I just don't see it happening. I have the Eagles winning.
Yeah. All right, now we're moving on to the Texans and the Chiefs. I think this is going to be a pretty close game. I think this is going to be probably the best game of the week.
Tank Bowl?
I'm taking the Chiefs this one just because I think Patrick Mahomes is, a better quarterback than Deshaun Watson. I think even with the flaws on the Chiefs defense, that Pat Mahomes is and his offense are gonna end up outscoring the Texans.
Okay, yeah. I think the Chiefs winning this one. I just think when the Texans come to town, obviously they did very good in their win last week, putting up over 50 points, so that's pretty impressive. That's the first time this season that we've seen such a big point difference against the Falcons they played. And I just think that the Chiefs, they're going to get him this time. It's definitely an interesting matchup, like you said, Aaron. Definitely going to be probably the game of the week besides Tank Bowl, obviously. That'd be also interesting. But I just think the Chiefs are going to win here. Not much the Texans can do.
I have the Chiefs here as well. I mean, sure, the Texans put up 53 points last week. That's against the Falcons defense that looks really bad. The Texans defense themselves gave up 32 points last week. And that's against a team that's not as efficient as the Chiefs are. I think that's going to be a shootout again.
Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
But I think it's definitely going to go to the Chiefs. Plain as that.
All right. Now, the Cardinals and the Falcons. Cardinals, I think, are putting something together right now, and I think they're figuring out who they are and what they want to do and where they're going. And I think they're going to take it over the Falcons. I used to take Matty Ice, but as I said last week, don't trust a guy with 2 first names. And it worked out because the Falcons got crushed. So I'm taking the Cardinals.
Yeah, Matty Ice, he kind of like melted. He's no longer with us.
Whoa.
Unfortunately, his quarterbacking skills this year have been mediocre. Like, nobody on his team's really been helping him. His defense has been god awful.
Yeah.
His offense has been mediocre. So I got the Cardinals winning this one. They're probably putting something together. Obviously, they're not making the playoffs this year, but I think they're pushing for something in the future. I just think there's no way the Falcons are coming to the Cardinals this week and beating them. I got the Cardinals by a lot.
Falcons have been a disappointing team this year. I mean, I don't really think where Matty Ice is. I think he still has that ice, but we just haven't been able to see this clutchness from him that defenses. But I think you just have the Cardinals winning this one. Kyler Murray, David Johnson, they're going to Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
I don't know how the Falcons defense is doing. Like, I don't know how they're doing it this year. They should be better.
Yeah, all right. And now it's the 49ers versus the Rams. I'm kind of excited for this game as well. I think it's going to be one of the key games to watch this week. I'm taking the 49ers in this one just because I think Jared Goff has been looking like rookie year form, not making as many good decisions, not throwing the ball as well as defense hasn't been as helpful. And the 49ers defense have been very helpful to Jimmy Garoppolo, getting a bunch of turnovers, making a bunch of big plays, getting them good field position so that they can score pretty easily. And with all that, I think the 49ers are going to string it together.
Okay, the 49ers have literally struck gold here, guys. Pun intended. Pun intended, yes, of course. They're hot off the press.
Another pun intended.
Pun intended. Okay, whatever. Anyway, I got the 49ers winning. The Rams have just not been looking good. I don't know what happened. Last year, they were a Super Bowl caliber team. Obviously, they went there. And it wasn't that bad. I mean, the Super Bowl they lost by a touchdown, which is unfortunate. But I just think that something's happened to them this year. I don't know what it is, but they gotta get moving soon, because otherwise they're gonna be left behind in the dust. I just got the 49ers taking this one.
Yeah, I mean, 49ers, they've got to win. I think we're gonna continue seeing 2 undefeated teams this week. I think 49ers are gonna keep going. I just don't know. I don't see it in the Rams anymore. You know, they don't look like that team from last year that we all saw. It could be from the decreased limit on Gurley, potentially, and not being such a viable option there. And
that really did inhibit them in the playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, and now we're seeing that Jared Goff can't rely on action plays, that he's really just in the pocket and just not getting it done. Yeah. And that's kind of what the Rams offense has been around, and the 49ers defense has been suffocating, as we saw last week against Baker.
I mean, that shows that you're not like that good of a team then, because if you only rely on one person on your team to make all the plays for you, and that guy has like arthritis or whatever, and like is limited in catches, that just shows how like that's not going to go very well for you guys, and that shows that's happened to the Rams, and I just don't think there's no chance of them like really doing much.
I mean, it's not only that; it's also that defense has not been up to par of where we thought they were going to be. I mean, sure, you have Sean McVay in there, who's one of the best offensive minds, but he can only do so much on the sideline.
Yeah. All right, now on to the Titans and the Broncos. I think this is one of the games to not watch this week, as it's going to be just as boring as Bills and Titans was last week. I think it's going to be kind of close, probably decided by a safety. Like in terms of scores, it would be like 7-9 maybe. Broncos over the Titans. Sometimes they're stringing it together on offense, sometimes they're not. and this is in terms of both teams. They're probably both going to go either 6-10 or 8-8 this year. So I'm taking the Broncos.
The Broncos are riding the horse down the field this week, guys. Actually, they're probably not.
You never know.
Like you said, Aaron, this game is going to be pretty boring. I'd rather watch paint dry. As a matter of fact,
It's a little rough.
really, that'd be more interesting than this game.
I mean, you can see how many incomplete throws are going to be thrown.
Okay, yeah, no, but I got the Broncos winning this one. I just don't think the Titans. They don't know what they're doing. Come on, you got Marcus Mariota and then you got Ryan Tannehill on your team. You got two very mediocre quarterbacks. The plays from last year just declined. Like they used to be so good, and then I don't know what happened to them. I guess mediocrity hit them like a train, but it obviously hasn't gone very well for them. But I got the Broncos winning this one.
Well, I have the Titans. No.
All alone.
Oh, well, I'm like you as well, but guess it's going to be right at the end of the week.
No.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to regret saying this. Let's watch that happen.
No.
But I have the Titans winning this one over the Broncos. I just think the Broncos don't look good on offense. I mean, the Titans really don't either, but you have Delaney Walker coming back from his injury. I believe he practiced on Thursday fully. He should be completely okay to go. You know, he had a big game for the first week against the Browns. You know, Broncos defense reminds me a lot of the Browns. So I think that Titans can have a good week offensively.
I agree. I don't agree, but I feel like the Titans could definitely win it. You know, as I said, I feel like it just depends on whose defense is going to make a bigger stop, and you know, that's the Broncos in my opinion. But anyways, we're moving on to the Cowboys and the Jets. I'm taking the Cowboys this week. Definitely could see an upset from the Jets this week. Not out of the possibility, but the Cowboys, you know, I feel like they're a pretty good looking team. They have a good defense. Dak Prescott, I mean, I know he didn't look great last week, but you know, sometimes you just have those weeks. And they got Ezekiel Elliott. I think the Cowboys win it.
I have no idea what Aaron just said about the Jets winning this one. I think it's going to be clear the Cowboys are going to win it.
Okay.
I mean, I think they're going to be upset after that Packers game last week, and you know, sure they're in New Jersey and the Jets and MetLife, but the Cowboys team is just too good for that Jets, especially on the defense. Cowboys are in all. The Jets cannot stop them this year.
I don't know. I feel like it's going to be close.
You think it's close?
Sam Darnold's coming back.
Okay, but
he's been in 5 weeks.
Yeah, exactly. You don't know how he's gonna do. That's the thing.
Also,
Exactly.
mono drains you of every every source of energy you have. I don't know if he's gonna be ready.
Well, he was already healthy, like a few weeks ago. They just didn't play him because of his enlarged spleen. That's all they were worried about.
Still tires you out. Even
I know, but he's had his weeks of rest, and I think he's gonna go out there and he's just gonna make Luke Falk look like Ryan Leaf.
Look like Luke Falk.
Okay.
But anyway, I just think Darnold's coming back a week too soon. In all honesty,
No.
I didn't think it was gonna be.
Oh, he's got to come back at some point.
I didn't think it was gonna be
I
back
feel
until
like-
week 8.
Well, if
Mono's
he's
usually 6 weeks.
okay,
It's
but
been 4.
if he's healthy, and you know what, they're developing him and trying to form him into their quarterback in the future.
Then don't get him hurt.
He's not gonna get hurt.
That Cowboys defense is angry about last week. Let me tell you real quick. I got the Cowboys winning this one.
He's down with
You're half and
I'm
half, but
still taking the Cowboys to win it.
you think it's gonna be like a touchdown or a field goal? Like how much do you think they're gonna win by?
I think it'll be 24-17.
24-17.
So,
Alrighty.
That's fair.
I mean, the Cowboys are obviously angry. Dak Prescott does not deserve that $40 million that he's been requesting multiple times. Obviously, I mean, last week against the Packers, like in garbage time, he was like able to.
Yeah, 3/4 of garbage time.
Yeah, Packers defense. I don't know. They probably were like they started sleeping. So he was able to march down the field a couple times to score. But anyway, that's besides the point. I just think the Cowboys are going to win. The Jets are kind of like mediocre. So yeah, I got the Cowboys winning. Alrighty, so our next game. So we got the Steelers at the Chargers. I got the Chargers winning this one. Come on. Do you really think the Steelers are going to march in to that soccer stadium down there in Los Angeles and win? No way. That's not going to happen. The Chargers are going to outscore them. The Chargers are going to beat them in defense and in offense and probably in special teams while we're at it. I just don't think there's any way the Steelers will be able to do anything.
Yeah, I don't entirely agree with that. I feel like they had Mason Rudolph. I feel like they'd actually pretty easily take this game because of how disappointing the Chargers have been this season. But they're playing. They have Delvin Hodges, and that's not. He's not terrible, but he's the third string for a reason because he's not good. So the Chargers are just gonna win it.
I'm gonna be sure with you guys. I have no idea who Aaron just said. But this would have been a great place for a sponsor considering they're playing the StubHub Center. But besides the point, I have Chargers winning this one. For the reason that these guys just said, the quarterback situation is a mess right now. It's no one's fault. If it wasn't for Thomas Brady, he's the only person we can blame for that right now. But I mean, obviously, I hope Mason Rudolph's okay.
Mm-hmm.
That looked really bad. Yeah. But got Chargers winning this one. Got one more comment. Dolphins might actually be able to get that first pick. Considering the Steelers are still going to slide and they have that pick from the Minka trade.
Oh, yeah.
So Dolphins could actually still line up the first pick even if they win this weekend.
True. Very true.
Which is weird.
Alrighty, moving on to our Monday night game. We got the Lions at the Packers in Lambeau Field.
I'm taking the Packers in this one. Honestly, if I wasn't a Packers fan, I would probably pick the Lions based off of how good they played versus the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. After a bye week, they're going to take a look at all that film, and they're going to have seen that they could have easily won that game except for a few missed opportunities and a few unfortunate calls. But you can't say that's why you lost. You always got to take your opportunities where you can. But I'm taking my Pack this week because they've been looking strong. They looked pretty good versus the Eagles, except for the last quarter, and they looked pretty good versus the Cowboys. And I think they're making a 15-1 run this year.
The Packers making a 15-1 run? Just really?
Yeah, I'm a Packers fan. I got it.
I know you are.
I'm
It's
calling
just
it.
disappointing.
Oh, gosh.
Besides the point, I have Packers winning this one as much as I just crashed on them. I think it's going to come down to LaFleur's playbook versus Patricia's.
Mm-hmm.
Patricia's playbook does not play nicely with Packers defense right now. It's a lot of very not deep passes, and Packers defense just looks really strong this year, and it's a nightmare.
Okay, yeah, so I got the Packers winning this one. I just think that the Lions coming in to Lambeau Field on a Monday night, it's obviously not home field for them.
Mm-hmm.
The Packers fans are loud this year. They're behind their team, and when they want them getting loud, they're gonna get loud. I just don't think the Lions' offense, considering how good our defense is, unless they run the ball a lot, which is the only way they're gonna beat us. I just think you got King and you got Jair covering the wide receivers.
Also, Adrian.
Yeah, you got Adrian Amos. You got them covered. There's not much Matt Stafford's gonna be able to do. I think our offense, even though Devontae Adams has been questionable, most likely out for the game, I still think if we're able to run the ball with Aaron Jones, how we did against the Cowboys, we have a good shot at winning this one. It could be a close game. Honestly, a field goal could determine the game. I think the Lions are a very good team this year. They're definitely a sleeper. People were sleeping on them a lot. I don't know, but they could just end up being the Lions and then lose all their games because that happened. That happened last year where people were high on them and they just crashed. So I don't know.
This honestly is the hardest game for me to pick this week. There's too many question marks right now between both teams, and as you just mentioned, Lions being a kind of a sleepy team. They did beat the Chargers in a game that the Chargers were heavily favored to win. Yeah. Lions look good right now. Who knows what's gonna happen this one?
I noticed a lot of picks this week were pretty easy to make. It wasn't if you pinned the Patriots against the Chiefs, that's a more difficult pick to make. But
and this is when you check our Twitter to see how bad Peter did this week after making that statement.
Oh.
Sorry, I'm leading actually.
Not for long.
Yeah.
I'm catching up.
I'm pulling up from
Jacob.
the beer.
All of us, I think.
Jacob talked all that smack.
Jacob is as good as the Dolphins.
Yeah.
They're both last. If you didn't see the tweet.
Dolphins are tied for last.
Yeah.
Let's give them credit for what they actually deserve, unlike Jacob.
Jacob deserves no credit.
Hope you're watching this, Jacob.
Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
Send some.
Andrew seems so enthused about that.
Yeah.
Alright. Alright, thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you like, subscribe, all that good stuff. You know what? Let's keep following this NFL journey all the way to the Super Bowl. You know what? And we'll see who wins between the 7 of us.
7 of us. Yeah. Yeah.
7 of us. Between who has the highest record right now, it is Peter with the highest, Jacob with the lowest. Let us know what else you guys want us to talk about.
All right. See you next week.
See you guys next week. Peace out.